Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. Today is the 85th birthday of Dr. Sheila Cassidy. Sheila Cassidy's written a number of helpful books on Christian spirituality, and many of them arising out of her experience of 20 years in palliative care, caring for the dying. But her first book, Audacity to Believe, was about her experience in Chile. Under the regime of General Pinochet, there was a violent repression of all opposition, and she was working in Chile at the time and treated some of those who were the victims of this violence. So the authorities arrested her, and she was subjected to a period of imprisonment, solitary confinement, and torture. She writes about this experience, and one particular occasion sticks in my memory because she talks about how angry she was with God for getting her into this situation and not getting her out of it, the injustice of it all. Here was she trying to do something helpful and creative, and she ends up in isolation in fear of her life. And she talks about her clenched fists banging on the wall of the cell, but talks about how gradually over time, as she reflected and meditated, those clenched fists became more like open hands. As she accepted her situation, she put everything into her trust in God, and somehow was able to find a peace. Though her situation hadn't changed, she was able to feel very differently about it, not the angry clenched fist, but the open, accepting palm of a hand. I think for Christians and those who try to develop a relationship with God, this kind of balance between being angry with God for so much of what happens in the world and accepting what is and trusting that God knows what God is doing is one that we try to work to achieve. But I think for those who are not Christians too, there is this balance to be gained between a righteous anger at some of the things we see going on around us in the world, and a sort of trust in life, a trust in somehow the ability of life to emerge out of this kind of crisis, this kind of injustice, and to triumph over it, the triumph of good over evil. It is something which, although it's hard sometimes to believe in it, even those who are not Christians find they want to cling on to. And I think today that's what I'm going to do, to try and not to deny the anger I feel at some of the things I hear about what's being said and done both in this country and around the world, but also to learn to somehow accept it. That doesn't mean not working against it. It doesn't mean not fighting against it in whatever way we can, but learning to accept that this is how it is, and that somehow that acceptance releases new creative abilities and a peace that can be powerful in helping us to understand and to deal with the challenges that the world and life offers.